Our hymn, Sit Beside You. We are back on regular schedule from our interrupted off topic of the sermon series talk last week. So we're back in our prosperity series, and this last part of this series, I'm going to be hitting on the 12 powers and how we can utilize our 12 powers to be able to tap into and create the abundant world that we imagine. And if you're new to Unity, the 12 powers are similar to chakras. They hold a place in your body. Imagination is in your mind's eye. And these are concepts that Charles Fillmore, founder of Unity, discovered, that we have 12 innate powers. I would argue that there's probably more, but I'm thinking he was just going 12 disciples, 12 powers, good. So we'll go with that. But when we open up and allow our minds to be free, the amazing substance and action and creation that unfolds, just like this song that we listened to, I was able to escape and be able to imagine many, many, many things. And when we were little, y'all remember being little? Hot minute ago? Where you did things like, for me and my sister, we were on the paddle boat at the lake at my Babbo and Papo's house. Babbo, Papo translates to Grandma, Grandpa. I named them, so it's weird. And in the paddle boat, we were on the biggest ship sailing at sea, and we were queens. And the world was perfect, because you can have two queens and not be in conflict. It's possible. And we were dolphins in the ocean. We were superheroes holding those that hurt other people accountable. Y'all have heard me talk about taking the toilet paper roll, coloring it yellow, cutting it in half, and cutting it in half again. Wrist, got my jump rope. Pew, pew. We're good, right? Saving the world. We are all the famous athlete, the famous singer, the famous writer. You name it. What is it? What is it that you want? What is it that you want to envision? What aligns with your Christ nature that says, this is mine to do? If you're a peacemaker, make peace. If you're a lover of all things and all people, be that love. But if you have big, lofty goals, use that power of imagination, because it is fun. It is wonderful. And so the inner child that you're playing with today, allow him or her or them to have fun, to remember as an adult what it was like to do crazy things like, for me, I believe so many things to be so true, and I can't remember if I told you this one or not before, but it's a good, nice, Leslie, I can't believe you did this thing. So my family could tell you, you could do anything you set your mind to do. And I believed them completely, because what I did was I stood up on the bar stool at my Babbo and Papo's house, and I figured I could fly. And I jumped off, and I landed face first on indoor-outdoor carpet. I had a little red spot on my nose to prove it, because I hadn't learned yet about things like, gravity. And the lack of aerodynamics in a human body. But with the wisdom that we know as adults, we can allow that inner child to play, because we have more tools that we've learned along the way to make everything unfold, to bring it into practice. So in order to do things like this, we need to kind of prepare ourselves to be able to utilize imagination. One of those ways is to fall still, quiet the mind. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you absolutely have no thoughts moving through your brain. I don't even know what that feels like sometimes. But it's stilling yourself enough that when you're quiet and you go, oh, I've got to remember to take out the trash in the morning, you can just go, noted, and let it go. Just let it float by like leaves on a stream, right? Just kind of let it be. So that way you can bring yourself back to that focus. Sometimes people use a word to bring them back to focus and back to center. It could just be center. Some people focus on their breath, breathing in, breathing out. For your tactile people, how many of you can't sit still? I'm married to one. And tactile, and I'm a feeler. Like you touch is your jam, right? So draw a figure 8 on your skin and just let it be. You're there, right? I almost lost you guys completely. I'm meaning to pull us into meditation, but if you're the tactile feeler person and you're doing this, you're like, So, and then other ways, if you're a mover kinetic kind of learner, then walk a labyrinth or go for a quiet walk. Leave your earbuds at home and just go for a walk. Some of the other ways to prepare us for being open to utilize that imagination is to release the negative self-talk. Because we all have the big things that we want to do, and then you hear, there's not enough time, there's not enough money. I don't know this about that big thing. I don't have people to support me, like all of the garbage. And let it go, because that's not, our confidence isn't in the negative thoughts, and our confidence isn't in solely our being. Our confidence is in God. And with God as unlimited source, and when you fully open, and when you realize and you remember that openness and what it felt like, you can sink back into it to learn and to remember. And when we do that, we'll find the energy that we didn't think we had. That big undertaking that you took, you're like, when is this thing going to be over? For me, it was finishing seminary. How am I going to be working full-time, going to school full-time? I have no life other than that. And my source and my power was the divine within me to stay up till 12:30, finishing writing a 16-page paper, and then writing a talk. We have that energy supply that is there for us all the time. And remember to take the time to recharge the human part of us in that energy flow and connectiveness, right? You'll be able to also, when you settle down and you fall still, you're going to be able, and release that negative, to find resources when things seem barren. So I'll do a little story here. I was going to do it later, but I'll do it now. Catherine Ponder is the founder of this Unity Church. She is well known for her prosperity writings. And the part that I love about her is that she entertains play and being able to bring about what it is that she wants, what it is that she manifests. And so in the Fillmore room, which is our boardroom, there is a letter from Catherine Ponder from when we had a anniversary of this church. I think it was the 75 year. Are we that old? We're not that old. 65? 61. Thank you. And so in this letter, she shared about, we were meeting at the Driscoll. So Driscoll Hotel, downtown Austin, was where they met. She envisioned having a church place of their own. And she's like, I don't know how we're going to do it. But she saw it in her mind's eye. And she said, I'm just going to start a capital campaign. Start getting money for it. And so, these aren't real, by the way, but she didn't use real ones to start with either. She used Monopoly money. And she's like, how much do I need? She got how much she needed, and she started her game. Her inner child started to play. So I Googled back in 1961, or that wasn't, well, no. It wasn't in 61. 61 was when it was founded. But sometime after that, she was trying to find where the new place is going to be. How is she going to fund it? Where is she going to get the money for it? So she set the intention, and the next thing you know, a $50 check comes in. A $100 check comes in. So back then, $50 was worth $500 today. $100 was worth $1,000. I'm playing. Because we got big things we want to do here at this church.
You know they don't make $500 anymore? I love them. I have those. But
Digitally, it works just fine. Pretend these are five $100 bills and a multiple of times. But she played. She used her imagination. She did the groundwork, the legwork. Open your mind. And when I mean open, I mean allow yourself to be the magnet of divine thoughts. Because if anybody can grab them, because they're out here, so if just anybody can grab them, it might as well be you, right? If you have an invention, what do I need to do to make the invention happen? Somebody did. We have little bitty computers this big that walk around with us because somebody went, oh, I think I can make that. So let's do it. When we open up our mind, fully open it, we prepare for the waves, not just a wave, but the waves of information coming in. Y'all know I tell you that God wakes me up at 2:30 in the morning because that's when this mind gets quiet. But in this allowing yourself to be open to ideas and the fun that it is, allows things like, I was sharing the Transformation Station idea, which is a subscription service through us that allows you to receive 3 meditations, 2 podcasts, a deck of affirmation cards, a ritual, a creative expression, and journaling prompts. And I was sharing this with one of the Unity Worldwide Ministry leaders that does small groups. And in this, she asked me, Leslie, I want you to come speak to our Pioneer group. So the Pioneer group is the group of ministers who want to be ordained, but they don't want a brick and mortar church. And I said, but I'm a brick and mortar minister. She goes, yeah, but Leslie, you think outside the box because Transformation Station is not a brick and mortar thing. And I'm like, no, it's not, because I think they could be both married together. And I had the most fun Thursday brainstorming with these amazing women, some already ordained, some getting ready to be ordained, on things that they have that are unfolding that I just listened to them tell their story, and as an idea came, I shared it. And do they need to follow it? If they want to, great. If they don't, no skin off my back. But to be a conduit of divine ideas, to allow that to flow through you, it's just fun. I enjoy it. And I ask you this also, take note that even if you receive a divine download that does not make a lick of sense, you ever get those to where you receive something you're going, I don't even understand this. Example, how can you get computers that used to be as big as a room? Like computers used to be like 6 by 6 by 6. And now they're this big. And who knew our thumbs could type as fast as they could type? Mine can't. My bear cub's thumbs can probably type as fast as my fingers can type. I mean, that kid can. I'm going on. I don't even know. But take note of the things that don't seem to fit. Because write it down, because you might go, don't, what I'm saying is don't dismiss it. And speaking of write it down, write it down. Write down what it is you want to bring about. There are little notebooks in the white bowl at the back with an affirmation on the front and so many pages for you guys to get to work in. So write down what it is that you want to make a reality. Write down the things you want to release that might be causing a block. So that way you can remind yourself later, oh yeah, I let that go and I picked it back up, so I need to let it back go again. Write those down. It's important to remind yourself, I released this. Write down and affirm the truths that support what it is that you're trying to achieve. And these can be soulful things. It could be tangible things. Bless you. And then write down your gratitude. And I talked about this in an earlier one of this series, so you can go back. I think it was number 3. But having that gratitude while you're in the middle of the process of things unfolding, for me, it's like driving your car and you add that the fuel booster stuff to your engine, and then you do the other stuff that cleans your engine. It helps the motor go better, which means it helps all of the things that are moving in your direction come to you better. It also helps us to be more aware of, oh, this is the thing I've been waiting for. And create it in pictures. You don't have to be artsy to create in pictures. Get yourself a magazine. I know those are hard to find these days. Get yourself a printed magazine and cut out and make collages. Or if you see a picture that's on the internet that you like, right-click, download that sucker, print it out. Create, people call them vision boards. They call them, you can make, if you want to build a house, start building your floor plan. It doesn't have to be perfect. The windows don't have to be exactly where they need to be, but start making it. Because corporations do this. Cities do this. So why not us do this? If you have a master plan for something that you want that's a 3-dimensional thing, build your 3-dimensional thing. Take your inner child, go find a box of Lincoln Logs or Legos, and build your thing. Catherine Ponder shared this one quote so I've been reading Open Your Mind to Prosperity. So it's it's the book she wrote after she wrote The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, the big thick one. So this is the one kind of right after that. And she shared this: one might wonder how often many of us have been refused the funds, the aid we needed from the realm of universal substance because we had no master plan through which mind power, gold dust, or substance could manifest as greater good in our life. So your master plan is a living, breathing entity. Whether it's a vision board, a document, a spreadsheet, a model, a piece of clay, an idea that you bring about through pictures. So if you want peace, what are things that remind you of peace? Put them on there. And it's a living entity because if you don't keep going back to it, it's going to stall out. You've got to keep returning to it. Because when we all have master plans, we need to adjust, we need to affirm, and we need to acquire what is needed to fulfill that creation. Adjust, acquire, and affirm. So I'm going to play with a little bit of metaphysics on this one. I had fun with this. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Vision metaphysically means seeing God as the source of all. If we fail to see God as the source of all, then what are we putting our trust in? And the people are our thoughts. All of the thoughts. So if you ever feel stumped or stuck, or you have this big thing that you want to accomplish or do, that would be the time, if you're feeling that stuckness, to recenter, to get together. Because if we're only relying on our human power to bring forth that substance, then it's going to be, it can happen. It just may take longer. It's like when when you've learned a lesson and you've figured out that you've learned the lesson the hard way because you received advice from somebody but you didn't listen because you're strong and independent and you want to do it on your own. We have that same small whisper from the divine in our world that if we are still enough to listen to it, we don't have to take longer for things to unfold. Your inner child, allow that inner child to play without holding back. Allow that dreamer in you to dream without second guessing your dream. Because I think in the land of pretend, that can be the birth of many things in the land of plenty. So when we are being fun and creative and curious and getting dirty in it, that allows us that opportunity to bring it into what we want it to be. When we sing it, and when we do the offering in a minute, we will be singing, "Money is coming to me." But you can substitute money with love, peace, a house, a job. What's your thing? Because we can sing it and make that part of our visioning experience. And with that, now is the time where we prepare ourselves, we prepare our hearts and our minds for our offering. And in this offering, I don't think it's in your bulletin because it wasn't in mine. You may have received a leaf coming in. So your leaf is where you can write down a blessing that you want to leave in the offering plate or a thing you're grateful for. And the reason we make that part of our giving practice is because we keep that energy of gratitude flowing, knowing that it helps adhere to that circulation of abundance. When we bring our offering up to the front, place your offering in the bowl to your left. And then before you leave, make sure you get an affirmation to take with you throughout the week. I've heard good things about these, that people have been enjoying them. And so that helps us remind ourselves that we are centered in all that is divine for us. Let the celebration begin.